Welcome back to the MarbleCast, where we talk about everything related to strength, fitness, and health so that you can live a longer, stronger life. I'm Joe Marble, and today we're going to recap the Freehold Spring Liftoff that just took place this past weekend, and I'm joined by my partner in crime, Sam Koulis. What's up, Sam? How the hell are you?
Oh, not much. How are you doing?
I'm a little tired, but, it's fine. I'm always tired. I'm kind of used to it at this point.
Yep,
So what did you think of this event we had this past weekend?
I thought it went really well. It was really cool to kind of ran like our other events, but on a bigger scale. I think like having it in the gym and stuff, it just it was kind of like a small version of like the national competitions, just like a little bit smaller. It was cool to have the screens and like the 2 platforms and everything set up like that.
Yeah, it was definitely a bigger version of our normal competitions that we hold outside of our gym. Huge shout out and thanks to CBA for supplying most of the AV equipment and the TVs, the microphones, and a couple of the laptops and stuff like that. That was super helpful. We didn't have to move all of that stuff, so that was great.
Big TVs. What do they use those for?
So they use those for, I think, COVID, when they had to do like at-home teaching. The kids couldn't come to school and stuff like that, so they would just have everything on the big TV screen computer thing that they have. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, they were really big TVs. They had 3 of them.
They gave us 4, and he said they have like 15 or 20 more or something like that.
Wow.
Because they needed one for like every classroom.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so those were super convenient for us. Definitely worked really well as far as keeping everybody in the know of what was going on, especially like for the live stream. It was super helpful for them too, because I had the cameras angled towards the TV, so that was good.
Yeah, and the back TVs just had the start list on it and the order and stuff. Or did you have the live?
Yeah, the lift order. I had the lift. I didn't have the live stream up in the back. We didn't have enough TVs for that. But plus, it would have been like 2 screens. I don't know. That would have been too much, I think.
I guess people can kind of see. It's nice in the big competitions to have that, because you're kind of far away from the platform sometimes, and to be able to see what's happening.
Yeah, I agree. That we did have that the last couple of events. Like we didn't have to take too many TVs. So we get lucky with certain gyms. They have a lot of TV equipment and stuff that we don't really have to provide. So that's always a good thing. What do you think set this competition apart from the previous ones that we've hosted? I know other than the fact that it was 2 platforms, which was big. We had more athletes, which was huge. I think we had 20 more athletes than our previous biggest event. So it was 74 lifters. Previously, I think we've had 54.
Yeah.
With one platform. And we ran on time, and we're done earlier this competition with more athletes in the second platform than we were with the 54 athletes in one platform. So that's kind of like where my mind was at with putting the second platform.
We could have smaller sessions, and so they run more efficiently. Typically, had a couple that dragged a little bit, but it just had to do with like who was following who, and sometimes people were far apart in their total or their entry numbers, so they would follow themselves, and that would extend things, or people would miss and then extend things a little bit more. But yeah, having the smaller sessions just allows it to run more efficiently, less room for issues and things to come up. And it seemed to like, sometimes you have 2 platforms close together, they can like compete against each other, but it seemed fine. And maybe I'm just used to it now with multiple platforms next to each other, but I think the speakers did a good job of kind of not talking over each other too much, and everybody was able to like focus on whatever platform they were looking at.
I think Becca was dominating the speaker role. She's first of all, she's a queen, and she does an amazing job as a speaker, and she was kind of dominating because she was like the veteran at the table. Her and Jackie were like crushing it all day. And then I had to keep replacing platform B's people because everybody kept leaving. So I was literally sprinting around the gym just trying to find bodies. And during the second session, the second group, I put 2 people who had no idea what they were doing, but I mean, I had no choice. It was the only people available that I could find to sit there and just run cards. So like, we do the best you can with these volunteers, man. It's hard to find people sometimes.
Yeah, I actually have never run the table, so I was gonna get up and help, but I was reffing, and like you can only really ref if you're past the course, so there's a limited number of people who can do. I mean, if we want to stay like official, so I stayed in there, and then I was helping loading because we were a little light in the beginning, and the same thing. People haven't loaded before, then they don't necessarily know how to do the collars or like what weights to put on. And which is, it made easier because the software shows us what weights go on the bar, unless it's the lighter weights, and then it just doesn't know because we're using like a 5 kilo bar or whatever. We kind of have to pick it up.
Yeah, it's all about like just like problem solving on the fly for the most part. So for anybody who doesn't understand what goes into running a competition, let me break it down for you. First of all, I'm stupid. So I run competitions out of my own gym, which makes it extremely more difficult. And I require a lot more of my people like Sam and Marcy and everybody to help me out. So to put on this event, we had 2 platforms and I had to build warm-up areas. So that means I had to buy twice as much wood, almost actually more than twice as much wood than I normally would. Because if we did it in a regular gym, I may not put platforms down. If they already have rubber mats, I'll just tape out an area for the warm-up area, and it's no big deal. But to build 2 competition platforms with 2 layers, which is not a lot of layers of wood, but I had to save money somewhere. Yeah. 2 layers of wood, and I ended up taking mats from the gym, which are heavier than the 4x8 plywood. So right now we're sitting at, what is that? 7 sheets of plywood per competition platform plus 4 mats. So 14 sheets of plywood and 4 4x6 horse stall mats. And I haven't even gotten to the warm-up area. So we had to pack all of this stuff in the truck. Now, Friday, the day before, I started with Corey at 1 o'clock. We didn't finish setting up. We finished. All right. So we started with Corey at 1 o'clock to get the truck and start loading it with stuff that I had in the storage unit. By the time we were done packing everything up at the gym, it was 4:30. Mm-hmm. Almost. Yeah, about 4:30. All right. So that's 3.5 hours just loading the truck. And that's mainly because we had to go get the truck. I had to drive around Monmouth County to pick up certain things. Like I had stuff at my house. I had stuff at the storage unit. Then we had all the rest of the stuff at the gym. So it's 3.5 hours loading the truck. Then we get to CBA around 5.
Yeah.
Right? About 5. And what did we finish around 7:30, 7:45?
I left around 7:30, so I don't know how long you guys were there after I left.
Yeah, not much longer after you left. So after Sam left, it was probably about 7:45. We finished and packed up and went home. So that's another 2.5 hours, 2:45. So let's figure 3 hours. So we're at about, what is that? 1 to 4:30. We're about 6 hours. About in total time to set.
A little more help when you got to CBA. Who was loading the truck at the gym before you left?
So it was Corey, Marcy, Mo.
Oh, Mo was that with you guys, and then he came over to CBA?
Yeah, Mo came over. I feel like there was one other person, but I can't remember who it is. But it was easier to load the truck because the wood the wood and the weights are the most annoying thing, right? The bars aren't too bad, but they're annoying too because we have to bring all the barbells. Yeah. Figured the wood is the biggest problem, and the mats were the biggest problem. So getting that stuff on the truck, that was tough.
Yeah.
But once we got everything to all right, so it's about 7 hours. I forget who else was helping us.
Ryan
Ryan was helping us. That's right, Ryan. Ryan came and helped out. Ryan was you, Marcy, Ryan, Mo, just stars this past weekend. Unbelievable. Sitting in the ref chair the entire day. It's a long day.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that. So Saturday comes. I get there. We get there, 5:30. and continue setting things up, just making sure all the TVs work and all the AV equipment is there, and we have microphones that work. And honestly, the competition part went super smooth. I have really no issues with the competition part. I think everything ran relatively smoothly. We sort of had enough people to do all the jobs, and we finished on time. So that part was totally fine. Like it just requires a lot of people that need to know their job, or at least be willing to learn their job. And loaders have like the worst job. So it's understandable that nobody ever wants to load, but most of the time you, me, or whoever just is reffing will just get up and help load just to move the event along, because once you have that downtime, it just everything drags, and it just it's so much worse. So the more we can keep the event moving, the better. And I think everybody helped out and did a great job with that.
Yeah, I don't mind, like, it's nice to get up from reffing every once in a while and like just load some weights, and so I don't mind helping with that. And I was telling you to take a break because you were like, I guess session you didn't have any athletes, or you're like coming around loading on each platform. Like, go sit down for a second, go take a break. We got it.
There were no breaks. There are no breaks with running these competitions, especially this one. This one was, like I said, 20 more people than we normally did. So like everything had to be on point, and I had to keep making sure everybody was doing okay and comfortable, and not like I know I'm asking a lot of people. So like if I'm asking a lot, I need to be able to float and make sure that they're okay with doing the things that I'm asking. You know, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot to just sit there for 12 hours. What was it? 5:30 to, and we finished at 4:30. So it was 11 hours all in from start to finish almost, which it's a long day.
Yeah.
And that's only half the day for us because we had to pack everything up and bring it back to the gym. So that our setup and breakdown, I've realized I need work, and I'm going to buy a couple of things to help speed along that process. But we definitely went about it the wrong way and didn't have enough help to do it the way that we were doing it. So next time we are going to fix that. I'm going to buy some carts and some trucks, hand trucks and stuff like that. So we will not have any problems next time. It'll be a lot easier. So setup should take less than 3 hours, and breakdown should take less than 2 hours, and we should be out of there. Because that's the hardest part, is just the setup and breakdown is just, it was intense, especially after a long day like that. It's just too much.
Yeah. I mean, and if we do it there again, we'll have a better idea of the layout. And some of the stuff we were just doing for the first time. So we were trying to like lay it out. I mean, you had a layout, but like trying to figure out where things went. And then me and Marcy spending like an hour trying to set up those curtains because we had never done it. And then trying to put them up and they fell apart. Like, well,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to bring a tool or something next time, make sure we can tighten them.
I know, it was just the learning curve of like, we've never been there before, so we didn't know exactly how to set things up. And I was there, and in my mind I had a picture, but every time I draw it on the board, it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't even matter. It's like, all right, cool. Just tell us where to put stuff, and we'll figure it out on the fly. Because that's it. It's all we could do, right? I've only been there one time to run a competition, so it's all new. Like, we just have to figure it out as we go. Like, what's going to work best, what's not. I wish we could do it like every month there, and then just have it a consistent thing, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, every month, but we could do that.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, just so that we have that practice where it's just like, yeah, cool, load it in, load it out. No problem.
Well, it's very expensive. The easiest thing would be to have equipment just done for the competition, so we don't have to unload the gym, load it up, load it out, load it back on the truck, load it back in the gym, and that's what they do for like the masters and stuff. They just have I should assume all the equipment's just stored, and then they move it, and they don't have to they just have to bring it in and out of each competition because it's for the competitions. But I
think like all those bigger competitions had to get like Rogue will sponsor the USA weightlifting stuff, and then they'll just take that stuff and sell it.
Masters is all their own equipment, and I assume doesn't serve any other purpose.
Well, they bought all new stuff for the Masters Nationals, it looked like. I think they sell that equipment after.
Yeah. Because that's expensive. That's really expensive stuff. Because they have all Alico bars, and even the Alico training bars that aren't competition bars are super expensive. And the plates and everything. So
I'm sure they have some sort of arrangement worked out, but I don't, so we have to take all of my equipment.
Sponsor that ghost brand that Dan Dodd's place for. We should just find a smaller brand. You can partner with them.
I think Rogue bought Ghost.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
never heard.
so
I saw those plates.
yeah, Rogue. I'm pretty sure Rogue bought Ghost, and yeah, so there's not such a small brand anymore. But any small brand that does well, I think Rogue just gobbles them up.
It'd be Rogue Alico. Those are the two. It's depending on what edition it is.
So I mean, it's not so bad. It's just like not so much fun either, bringing all that stuff. But I mean, I have to. Like, I don't have another choice. All the gyms that allow us to do these events don't have kilos, and if they do, it's like one set. So we end up having to bring everything anyway. Like at CBA, they had no female bars and they had no kilos. So I was like, all right, I'll just bring everything because that's just what we do anyway. So what's the big deal?
Yeah. And I wasn't really in the warm-up area, but you had enough stuff back there?
Yeah, everything went fine, I think. I mean, I didn't hear any complaints. It was spaced out enough. We had 8 platforms for warm-ups, and I think it went pretty well. We could have added one more, but I don't think it was totally necessary for the amount of people that we had.
Yeah, I think if we end up with bigger sessions, you probably need to add a couple warm-up platforms, but
100%.
Yeah.
And now it's not so bad because I can buy another 8 sheets of plywood, no big deal. But like, I want to get my money back for this plywood first before I start buying more stuff. Like I'm totally, I love running competitions. I think it's so much fun. I think we do a really good job of it, and I think that a lot of people gave me some positive feedback. So I'm happy with the way everything went.
Yeah, no, I think it went really well.
Yeah, and we had a few first timers on our team compete this past weekend. We had 15 total athletes. Sandra and Scott was their first competition, and they both, Sandra went 6 for 6, which was awesome. So PRs everywhere. And Scott hit PR snatch, PR clean and jerk from training or competition, because this is for competition either way. So that was cool. Like it's a lot of fun when you get those first timers and they have a good show and they have fun doing it. So like that's really fun.
Yeah.
We had Ava, who I think this was her 4th competition, and she hit PRs and everything. So that was cool. And you know what? I was really happy about Ava's performance because she looked really good.
Yeah, yeah.
You were on her platform, right?
Yeah, I was judging.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she looks a little nervous, but I mean, she didn't show it when she got to the bar. You can tell she's experienced because even though this is only her 4th meet, you can tell she's like knows what she's doing.
Yeah. She looked really good. Like I think she looked technically wise, like she looked so much better this competition than in previous ones. And it's been starting to develop a lot better in training. And she doesn't come that often. She's here like maybe once or twice a week leading up to the competition. So like she's doing really well. I'm really happy that she had a good show. Sophia also did really well. Had PRs in both snatch and clean and jerk and total. Melody did okay. She was having a rough training cycle, so we had dropped a little bit of numbers, but her clean and jerks went fine. Like we went after a PR clean and jerk for competition. So
yeah,
I mean she missed it, but it was fine. Like she still made a total. It was fine.
Yeah.
Akiko had a little, I think, one error on her snatch. I think she missed one snatch. I think she went 5 for 6. She had 30 and 33.
Yeah.
And then PR in her clean and jerk, which was really cool. I have some cool photos of her. Those are fun. But yeah, your brother. Shout out to your brother Alex, who was our photographer. He did an awesome job. Yeah,
I think he had fun. He's getting more comfortable with how weightlifting works, and so he was pretty good. Like he was running around to try to get both platforms, and at one point, I think I wanted to make sure he wasn't running in front of people as they were about to lift, but he seemed to have his timing okay, where like he wasn't running right as they were about to lift. So so I'm sure it was like a lot to get both platforms, and I think he was trying to get other like views and stuff too. So a lot of pictures up.
Yeah, he posted over 3,000 pictures. We had a good amount of people buy them, so that was cool. supporting Alex. If you haven't bought your pictures yet, guys, go to the Marble Weightlifting link. I'll put it in the show notes. Support Alex's photography hobby. So he did a really good job. I was really happy about that. And yeah, I think he stayed out of the way for sure. He was doing great. And who else we have? Gina, Gina's funny because she wasn't supposed to lift, but I had so many dropouts the week before that I knew that she would be into it and she would do whatever I wanted her to do anyway. So I was like, yeah, Gina, just lift and then help out. She's like, it's good. It'll be fine. Like, I don't have enough people to help anyway. And you adding one more body to that wouldn't matter. So just lift and then help and it'll be totally fine. And she did really well. So hit PRs and everything.
Yeah.
Had a little issue with her jerk, but we're working on that.
I think I red lighted her on one of her lifts. Sorry, Gina.
Yeah. Her third attempt snatch, she missed completely. She just overpulled it. And then her second jerk, she pressed out. I think that's the one where you red lighted.
Did she get it though? A lot of times I'll red light, but they'll still get it because I'm the only one who does.
No, she repeated her second jerk for the third attempt and then got it.
And then she jumped after. She was doing the table, she was loading.
Yeah, she was a trooper, man. She stuck around. It was a long day for her.
The collar's the hardest part.
The collars, everybody had trouble with the collars. I made a video of that like last competition, but I forgot to post it this time.
One of them was a little weird, like it wasn't tightening. It was you had to fiddle with a little bit to get it to tighten. But yeah, well, I was trying to explain the physics of it because if you don't understand like what you're doing, then you can't really remember what order to do things in. And like, it's not hard once you do it, but it's also hard sometimes if people tighten them a lot to undo it. So it just takes practice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that complicated though. It's pretty simple. It's a set screw and then another set screw. Like, it's not super complicated. We're weightlifters. We're not like scientists here. We're just meatheads. Want to lift weight.
Yeah.
Like, our weights are colored because we can't tell them apart if they're not colored.
Melody loves to load. That's her thing.
Yeah, I'm sure she does. She loaded at Masters Nationals. That was cool. But yeah, she turned around and helped out. That's good.
In the crowd, and they were like, "We need another loader," and she's like, "I'll do it."
Yeah. Honestly, I don't mind loading either because it's like I like to keep the competition moving. I just can't always help out at the bigger events because I'm usually coaching or lifting or something.
Yeah.
So like I don't ever volunteer at those things because I just don't have the time. Like it's like if I fit it in now, I won't be able to train or I can't coach. So it's like it doesn't work. But I do like to load and stuff because nobody else does. But I like to just throw weights at people. I'm like, yeah, put this on there, snap it on, let's go, moving on. So I do like that. I don't like reffing at all. It's too boring.
No, well, it's boring, and then I feel bad when I have to red light somebody. But for the most part, occasionally I don't, depending on who it is. But most of the time, I feel bad.
I just don't like to sit still. Like I just, if I'm loading, I know what's going on. I know I can get up and run around, even though I'll get really tired really quickly. But like if I'm reffing, I get tired just sitting there, like watching weightlifting.
Well, and by the last session, I mean that's the last session because the last session I was just like, yeah, that looked pretty good, white light.
I know it's such a long day, and we just didn't have enough we needed 6 refs every round, so like we couldn't even switch people out. It's like, let's sit there all day. It sucks. All right, so we had Jen Brulo, who had a 5 for 6 day, missed her last snatch because she refused to get under it, but power muscle snatched it essentially. And then got really mad during clean and jerks and hit a PR clean and jerks. That was good. And she still came out. She's funny. She still came out and was like, yeah, I'm mad. I can't believe I missed that snatch. I'm like, Jen, you just PR'd everything. Like, forget that snatch. Like, who cares? Like, who cares? You just hit PR clean and jerk in total. Like, that's all you really need.
What did she hit on her clean and jerk?
64?
Another platform.
64. So she hit 43.64 for a 107 total, which is like a 5 kilo PR, something like that. This is great. What's the problem? How you mad when you make a bigger number? Like, you can't be mad, but it happens. Suzanne had a good day. PR snatch and PR clean and jerk. No, PR total. Sorry, clean and jerk she missed on the last one, but I made her try to attempt it in the back afterwards. I was like, how did you miss that clean? Like, you don't miss cleans. And then she missed the jerk in the back, and I was like, all right, you can stop now. But she had a good day. That was good. Vanessa did 6 for 6 with a 42 snatch, 56 clean and jerk, 98 total. So this is her second competition. I think her first one was in December. So this is great. She improved by, like, I don't know, probably almost 12 kilos, I think, which is great. That's awesome. Like, that's all you can ask for, right? Is any amount of improvement.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in the beginning stage, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, I miss that. I miss PRing like every week instead of every year.
Yeah. At least you're at every year still. I just hit a PR jerk for the first time in 6 years. So, it takes a while after once you get up in weight. It's tough.
Well, I'm finding I have to put more time in. So I wasn't like, at some point you got to do more work for the numbers to go up.
Sometimes you have to do less work, but more work on recovery.
Yeah. I mean,
that's my problem. I do less work, but I don't do any recovery. So it just takes 6 years.
Yeah. It's easier for me to just go to the gym. Because I'm not good at getting to bed on time. I'm not good at eating properly. So I'm just going to train more, and I'm sure I'll be fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We'll just keep blasting ourselves and beating the shit out of ourselves so that when the weight's on the bar, we're too sleepy to lift it. It's perfect. That's how masters do it.
Yep.
Next on our list, I got Jenna, who also is funny and was like super mad after the entire thing. She's like, I did so poorly. You want to know how poorly she did? She hit a PR snatch and a PR total at a lighter weight class. How is that bad day? Like, what's wrong with these people?
I think weightlifters tend to be perfectionists and overachievers, and so we're just never satisfied with anything.
I know, but how can you not be satisfied with, like, you did the best you've ever done at a lower weight class and it still wasn't good enough? I was like, what's wrong with you?
I red lighted her too.
Her snatch her jerk.
Yeah, I think she still got it. I think I was the only one who did.
That was the only one she made, because after that we went up to a weight that I think was kind of like not there yet. Like, at this stage, she wasn't really consistent enough to get to that point. So what Jenna needs is to be more consistent, and we have to add 9 more kilos to her total before November, so that she can qualify for AO finals.
For 59?
Yeah. And she's like, should I go up in weight? I'm like, why? Was it hard to get to 59? I mean, you were there yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Was it hard to get to 59? She's like, no. I was like, then stay there and let's just get stronger. She puts up some pretty big weights.
Yeah. I think the clean and jerk or the clean in particular is for sure the hardest when you're staying at the lower class. Like, I notice when my body weight's lower, it's the snatches usually still feel fine. It's the clean and jerks that feel a lot harder. And I don't even vary that much. Like, I think there were a lot of reasons at Masters Nationals for my clean and jerks issues, but I weighed in at 69, so I was like really light, and I think that does affect my clean and jerks like significantly, and it generally doesn't affect my snatching too much.
That, and it was just a long day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think some of that is just stamina and like what my body can maintain. Yeah, it was a long day. I had settled, things were feeling heavy, and I made a lift, and I knew making more lifts wasn't going to do anything for me. So,
yeah. I mean, at that point, like, it's hard to keep your focus for 3 hours to do that. It's really hard, but that's all part of the challenge and part of the fun.
Yeah.
Is that every competition's a little different. Sometimes it's 30 people in your session, which is unreal, and sometimes it's 4, and that's also kind of crappy. But that's the luck of the draw there.
Yeah, I like it to be under 15. I think I had 15 in that session. That's a long session.
Yeah, that was a long day.
10 to 12 is like the sweet spot for
Yeah.
in a session.
Yeah, 12 I think is perfect, depending as long as the totals are closer together. When they're first spread apart, then I think that's one of my issues is that when I put in the sessions, I try to group people by body weight in each category, and then the totals are all shifted. I think next competition I'm just going to do it by total, and then just the medals are easy anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be better if everybody was together than like you compete against that person. That made sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know if people like even think about it though, for the most part, because there's so few weight classes that have like even more than 2 or 3 people in them that I don't think people are thinking about it too much. And personally, like I'm not usually thinking about it in a local meet. It's obviously different if you're at a meet where you have a dozen, or like a bunch of people in your weight class. It's a whole different thing. But I feel like at local meets, everything's so spread out. I don't really feel like I ever kind of know who's in my weight class or really care.
Yeah. That's true. Like it's a local competition, and I'm treating it a little bit more than that. So I think that I have to just make that adjustment next competition for sure, because it'll make the sessions go a lot smoother.
Yeah, and I think, if you do it by total, then you can kind of have it's more of a true like B and A session, because the A session truly has the higher totals. So I think that in that sense it works a little bit better too. But
yeah. So we'll make that adjustment for the next one for sure. All right, then we got HK, who had a great day. Honestly, she did a PR snatch, she had a PR clean and jerk, PR total. Had a great day.
Yep.
So, and it, like had a very sketchy training cycle going through that. So I'm really happy with her performance. I think she did really well. And then we got the other one. What's her name? Heather, who like just was screwing around the entire time. And like hit a PR snatch, hit a PR clean jerk, qualified for nationals, whatever. But yeah, no, she did. Obviously, she did great. So that was fun. It's fun to see when all the work comes together.
Yeah, I'm dragging behind now. HK and Heather both exceeded my total. So.
HK beat you by what? 3?
Yeah.
177.
I beat her in the snatch, but she beat me in the clean and jerk.
Yep. Yeah, she's got a big clean and jerk. Yeah, I think we were talking about this yesterday. Heather hitting that 102 clean and jerk. I knew she wasn't gonna make anything else past that.
Yeah, I was a little surprised she even came back out for any more lifts, personally.
The second attempt, I'm like, yeah, give it a shot, see what happens. But like, it's not there. And then Coach Mike is trying to like coach her and get her back into it. Like, I'm like, you're done. You did what you needed to do. You got first place. Like, what else is? If you hit this, what's it gonna matter? It won't.
Yeah. All the adrenaline's gone at that point. Like, I think physically she could have hit that 104, but I think her adrenaline was gone. Her motivation was probably gone at that point. So
yeah, she did the job she needed to do, and that was pretty much it. Like, at that point, there's no reason to keep going and adding on more.
Yeah,
it's not gonna help. But yeah, she went out there 2 more times and gave it a shot. And didn't even come. I don't even think she didn't stand it up, right?
Not. She didn't stand. I don't know if she got under. Did she get under the second time? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think she got under it and then just threw it on the floor. Yeah. But yeah, no, she qualified for nationals. That's cool. So I guess we're going to Colorado for $1,000 a flight now.
Like I said, you fly into Denver, it's a lot cheaper.
I looked at Denver. Denver was like $800.
It was like 400 when I had pulled it up, but
well, it was like 400 for a 1 stop, so it was like a 12-hour flight. For the nonstop, it was like 600. Plus, they add on all the fees, and the return flight gets more expensive because you need a specific one. And I don't even know when I'm coming home at this point. Like, I don't know any of the schedule, so I'm like trying to figure it out. I have no idea.
She's probably lifting on Friday, I would imagine.
I think so, but what happens if I book the flight for Friday and she's lifting on Thursday?
I don't even think they start till Friday. I think
I don't know.
assuming there's the same, I mean, it should be a similar number of people as last year. That's the whole point of the qualifying totals, is to limit the number of people.
I know, but they don't I just don't know what flight to book. So for her and I guess Mo, if he's gonna come out of retirement and start lifting again, because if it's just her, I'll just take a day trip and go out there and come home. No big deal.
A long day trip.
But, yeah, but at least it relieves Erin a little bit. But we got to start selling candy to, pay off this trip. So everybody needs to buy 17 boxes of Old Monmouth candies and start going around the neighborhood selling chocolate bars. $2 a piece. We got them on sale at the gym, $1.50 a piece. Just scan for a water, buy some Old Monmouth chocolate bars. Heather already ate into the profits. She started eating all the chocolate. I was like, what the hell are you doing? We got to sell those. We got to make money for this flight.
You got to make weight, Heather.
Stop eating the profits. What are you doing?
And I didn't make weight. Did you actually buy all the boxes?
No, I only bought 2 boxes because Sue's funny. Susan Gunther, one of our lifters now, she owns Old Monmouth Candies in Freehold. If you guys are out there, it's on 33. And she brought the candy bars to the competition, but didn't sell any. And I just told her, I was like, just give me the boxes and I'll buy them. So it's fine. Like, just give me whatever you have. So she sold, I think, like 2 bars. And I don't know what goes on with the vendors and why nobody wants to go to those tables. I have to figure that out for next competition too. Because I feel bad. Like, I'm trying to give them an opportunity to sell their stuff, but nobody goes up to them. Either they have to make their tables more interactive, or I have to put them in a more strategic area or something. I don't know. Because nobody was going to the tables, and I felt really bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know the Vicaya brands. I just didn't have any reason to look at their stuff, and then I didn't even know like what Susan was doing or like what the candy bar situation was over there. So like, I think I walked over there once. I was like, oh, I didn't know what was happening. And then the PT or whoever was there was just sitting there with the massage gun. So again, I was just like, there was no like, the table needs to have more stuff on it for people to like engage people, information or branding or something.
Yeah, I don't think that they had a plan, and I wasn't able to actually give them a plan because I just was doing everything else. So we made a couple of announcements to go check everything out, but I don't think anybody got up and looked at all. Or if they did, I was running around. I couldn't see.
I think they have to do it too. Like my family sells their candles. I mean, they have a very elaborate booth that they set up, and and so it's somewhat on the vendor if they want to sell stuff.
That's very true, because I used to do a lot of food shows when I worked in a restaurant, and there are businesses where they set up an elaborate booth for you.
Mm-hmm.
And they build this crazy thing, and it makes people want to go and check out all your stuff. But I don't think they understood like what their job was there. Like the chiropractor, honestly, everybody should go check him out. Dr. Jeremy Dinkin, RSM Recovery Sports Medicine, I think it is. Check him out. He does really good stuff. But his table was just like a massage table, and that's it.
Yeah,
and he had nothing
else on the table. It was like a Theragun.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't even think he talked to anybody. And I think he left after the first session. He was like, this isn't working. I'll see you later. But you have to like sort of do stuff. You have to make your table interactive, and that's where they all fell short. They were just sitting there waiting for people to come to them. And as a gym owner who did that when we first opened, we opened a gym and waited for people to come in. It doesn't work, guys. You have to draw them in somehow. You have to be a salesman. You have to engage your audience in some way, and they will then show up. But they won't just show up just because you're sitting there, because they don't know who you are, and they have no reason to really talk to you. Like,
and
that's the tough thing about it.
People tend not to go over if there's no one else there too. So it's like you got to get some people interested, so more people come over.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I guess for the Vicaya I guess she had some clothes out, but like usually they'll have them out almost like on racks and stuff so people can like look through it. I think they were out, but I don't know if they were on the table or whatever. Just gotta make it easier for people to look through the merchandise and stuff if you're trying to sell that kind of stuff.
That, and you have to have like giveaway stuff at these events. Like you have to have like, hey, answer this trivia question. I'll give you a pen and you can fill out this form and I'll collect your email. This way I can follow up with you later. Like you have to have something for people to do. So like when we did the Nicole Sparza event, I think it was over the summer, we had like a push-up and sit-up contest, and there were some other things that we gave away, and it was just like, hey, you can get a free PT session, just fill out this form. And like you have to give stuff away. Like that's the only reason people are going to come to your table is if you're giving something out, because they have no reason to really talk to you other than that. Yeah, that's the crappy part about it. But you have to give something away, even if it's just if it's a T-shirt or a pen, here's a coffee mug, whatever. You just have to make your table interactive. People will come. But yeah, they didn't do that.
Do you sell a lot of the T-shirts and stuff at the front, or all the stuff we were selling?
So Erin, my wife, was at the table the entire day, almost the entire day, just like selling stuff. She's like, you want a T-shirt? You want a T-shirt? You want to buy this? You want to buy that? So she's like, I want this job every time. Every time, just put me here, and I want to sell stuff. That's all I want to do. I want to sell stuff. I was like, please do, because I can't. So you do it. I was like, just give away the T-shirts to everybody who helped out. If they come by, just give them a T-shirt. Marcy's like, no, we're selling all the T-shirts. We're selling them. It's like, all right, well, sell them. But if people come by, you got to give them something. Like I promised them something. All I gave them was pizza and candy at this point. I feel bad. Like I ask a lot, so I want to be able to give back in some way, something. It doesn't matter what it is. Just give me. I want to give something. See, it's all about the interactive. You got to engage the audience. All right. So the last two lifters we had, Anthony Crudo, Eric Zuccaro, both had banner days. Anthony went PR snatch and missed his last one to beat Eric. How dare him? But he had a 103 snatch. That was cool. And he opened up heavy. So like his best snatch, I think, was 100 previously. And we opened up at like 94 at that point. This time he opened up at 101, hit it. It was sketchy, but he hit it. Then he hit 103, and then he missed, I think, 105 or 106. And then he only made one clean and jerk, but it was enough for a PR total. And I think he took second place behind, I don't know. I forget who. But no, it was a good day for Anthony. I'm proud of him. And then he hit a 500-pound back squat yesterday that nobody got a video of.
Didn't happen then. Sorry.
I have a video of him bailing in the most epic way on that 500-pound squat attempt. That was like a month ago. That was funny. He just like flattens out. But yeah, and then Eric finally hit 103 kilos, something more than 100 on the platform, because he opened at 100 finally, like I've been telling him to do for like the past 3 competitions. Just open up at 100. Just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off. So he opened up at 100. He hit it. Hit 103. It was a little sketchy, but I think at that point everybody was tired and they're just like, yes, good. Go sit down now. And then he missed the last one at 105. And his clean and jerks, he went 3 for 3 on his clean and jerks, which was pretty cool. His jerks are a little suspect, but they weren't that bad. Honestly, his last clean was his best clean, and his second jerk was his best jerk. Third jerk was, probably would have gone a different way.
Yeah, he was lucky I was on the other platform.
Yeah, he had a good day. Finally got past that 237 total, and now he's hit 247, so that's good. Maybe this will be like that breakthrough and that push that he needed to get get out of his head a little bit about certain numbers. So that's good. So all in all, everybody walked away with a medal in some capacity. Most people walked away with some competition PRs, and a lot of people walked away with some really great pictures from the event. So I'm really happy. It was a good competition. I think we did a good job, and I think you did a great job. I think we all need a nap now, but we have to get geared up for Masters Pan Ams in 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
It's like 2 now.
Well, I guess for Marcy, I'm lifting like at the end, so I have a little more time.
2.3 weeks.
I just want that to be fun. I'm not like I want to hit some good numbers, but I just want it to be fun.
I don't know. I think I want to beat Ryan, but that's only enough motivation. I don't know if that's enough motivation because I have to get gold first. I have to beat the other 2 guys who are actually competing against. And then I want to out total Ryan, but at the same time, like it won't matter because I won't be able to go to nationals based on this anyway. And even if I do make that total, I don't care. I'm not going. I'm not going to go to compete anyway.
Yeah, I'm not. Unless things drastically change in the next few weeks, I'm not probably getting anywhere near nationals total. But I think 180 is possible. I just have to. I mean,
you have that 80 kilo snatch. You're right there.
Is probably closer than 100 clean and jerk. So
I don't know. I mean, you're right there on both of them. You just have to all the stars just have to align.
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to. And you just have to
cutting it all. Like not that I usually cut really, but when I have to make weight, I tend to stop eating, and then I end up way under where I need to be. So now I'll probably be closer to 71. Like it'll just be enough to get into 76. But then I looked and realized that there's only one medal. You only get a total medal in this competition.
Oh,
so
really?
Now I'm feeling a little bit more nervous. I'm like, well, if I bomb one or the other, I don't even get any medals. So I have to make one of each or I don't get anything.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have to make a total in order for it to count. So
yeah, I think,
how many people are in your weight class?
Not very many. It's less than 10 because they combine the 71s and 76s, I think. So so it's not that many.
I'm 3. There's 3 of us. So as long as I make a total, I get something. And I'm pretty sure that I can.
Yeah, same. I mean, I think I'm pretty locked in for gold, depending on what this Canadian woman does. But I mean, for sure, silver, because I think there's pretty big gaps between each total. So as you go down, so I'm pretty far ahead at this point, but we'll see.
Well, hopefully we can pull it together for this competition one more time, and then maybe we take a break for a little bit and just like take a nap or something. I don't know.
Maybe do some more CrossFit.
Oh, doesn't sound fun. I just want to jerk 170. That's all I want to do. I'm gonna put all of my efforts into squatting front squatting 185 and jerking 170. That's what's gonna happen after this competition, because I don't think I need to hit record numbers to win, unless those guys are lying in their entry totals like I did. But I think I'll be okay if I just open up at like 115, 145. I think I'll be okay, and then just cruise the rest of the way. Yeah, but it's gonna be a fun trip. I booked my ticket. We should have some fun.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. And I'll be at the training hall every day, probably just to move around. I may skip one day, maybe. I haven't decided if I'll do Wednesday and Thursday, but I'll be there just to move around. Hopefully it'll be a little less crowded during the middle of the day because there's not as many lifters as Masters Nationals. Like it wasn't awful, but it was a little packed when I tried to train the day before.
In the training hall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, at least it was spread out.
It was spread out. They just didn't have
enough stuff.
Bars, and they had a few racks, but there weren't that many. It was they need to take the setup from AO and spread it out like Masters. Like AO is really nice stuff, but they cram it all together, and it was much more spread out for Masters, but they didn't have enough stuff. So we need to combine those two things. And I think the number of platforms might have been similar, but I feel like there was just more. I think every platform had a squat rack at AO or close to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like they just have more stuff. So
well, it's like I think the Cohens are just doing it on their own, and I don't think that's for long anymore. If that email we got last night,
they're I don't know. I didn't really understand what all of that meant, but I don't know if they're taking it out of their hands or.
I think that what I got from it was that USA Weightlifting is taking over the Masters Nationals, and anything else the Cohens can have and do what they want to do. But anything that is
Howard Cohen is the only other. Like, you mean the internet? Like, because Howard Cohen's the only not really national meet. Everything else is national or international, I feel like.
Yeah, so I think they're going to take over Masters Nationals and bring it in under the regular USA Weightlifting banner, where they should have all of the AO stuff. I think that's kind of the way it read to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Howard Cohen Classic or the American Masters Classic, whatever that is, the Cohens can keep doing that, but everything else that they're doing, USA Weightlifting is going to have part of their staff to run and take over. That's the way I read it, and that's the way I think it was explained in all of the Facebook groups. But yeah, we'll keep learning more about this because that was a long email.
Yeah, and they make it sound like whoever runs the meet shouldn't basically benefit financially from it or something. So I don't know how it all works, but it does kind of suck if they do all that work. I mean,
yeah,
I feel like they deserve to make a profit from that. So I don't know. I don't know how the structure works I mean, I can't imagine that people who set up these meets they expect to just be volunteers. They got to make some money doing it.
Yeah. So I think talking with John DeLesio, who I have a call with in a little bit, USA Weightlifting wants to have the meet directors run state championships and national competitions through USA Weightlifting. So everything filters through USA Weightlifting before the meet director gets a cut, and they have to submit bids on what they're willing to accept as payment based on the entries and stuff like that. So I understand it from USA Weightlifting's point of view, but I also understand it as a meet director from my point of view, because I'm putting in all this work, I'm moving all of this equipment, I want to make the money. I think that if they want to make more money, they should charge more for the event. If I want to sanction this event, it costs this much money. If I want to sanction this event, it costs this much money. And then whatever is on top should be for me. That's what I think. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I feel like there's a lot of people that are upset because I think there's always been this little conflict between Masters and kind of the mainstream USAW. I think because Masters wants to have their own thing. So hopefully it doesn't change a whole lot, maybe other than Rogue being the equipment at Masters meets, and hopefully it's can still run these kind of focused on Masters instead of just throwing Masters in with all the other people at these bigger meets. Because that was nice, but at the same time, it's nice to have just a Masters meet. And have it really nice and, So, but I assume they're still going to do Masters at AO again this year.
Yep. Masters at AO are fine. So, I don't know. It'll be fine. Wherever they want us to lift, I'll just lift. It's fine. Whichever competition we like better, that's the one we're going to go to. So, I don't really care. We have a good Masters group for marble weightlifting. So, we have a great program for Masters. We have a good program for our senior athletes. We're doing all right, I think.
Yep.
So I got no complaints on my end. If anybody wants to jump in with us, we are very welcoming and supportive community here at Marble. So
we have fun.
We do have fun. We enjoy it. And I think we'll end it on that one, Sam. I think we did a good recap on the Freehold Spring Liftoff. That was neither held in Freehold at all. So we'll have to change the name for next year, but I think we did a good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Sam, for being on the MarbleCast today. Age is inevitable. Weakness is not. So get out there and lift some shit. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening to today's MarbleCast. Please check us out on all social media platforms so that you can stay on track with your strength and fitness. If you'd like a free copy of our ebook on how to turbocharge your weight loss, click the link in the description below. You can grab that copy today. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.